Can you hear me? Hey, Mark.
Hi, Tony. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
Good. Can't complain. Glad the warm weather's back.
Yeah, now it's
Sure.
raining. It got cold.
Yeah.
All that garbage on Facebook, man.
Hey, Mayor. How you doing?
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Got to say loud first, huh? Eric,
It's just it's an old habit.
you reading all those books, Eric?
Every one of them, Owen.
No. Any good ones?
No. Cat in the Hat.
Well, you're not allowed to read that anymore. Not allowed to read that anymore.
Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Good, hope all's well.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Albridge Township August 10th, 2021 council meeting. Everyone, please stand for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for our prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
United States of America.
and to the republic
For which it stands,
one
one
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment of silence to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. And this evening, Mrs. Walker,
Yes, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Anthony Piazza. He lived in Albridge for over 57 years. He was married to his wife Sheila for 62 years. He was a member of the Cheesequake Volunteer Fire Company for over 50 years. He was very dedicated to serving the town, and he was one of the nicest people you'd ever meet, and he's really going to be missed. Moment of silence.
our prayer, Mr. Pescitti.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this Zoom meeting. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Please give us the strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant us a good conscience at peace with you and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated.
Ms. Brown?
Here.
Mr. De Palma?
Here,
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Here.
Mr. Merwin?
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy? He doesn't have an audio source. No audio. I have to say absent. Mr. Pescitti?
Here,
Mr. Rizzoli?
Here.
Ms. Walker?
Here.
President Sohor?
Here.
We have 8 present.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the meeting.
Oh, I just have to do the sunshine statement.
Yes,
Oh, sorry. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper, and notice of this meeting has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the council will be held on September 14th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. I can go.
okay. All right. Thank you very much. First thing will be a hearing, mass assembly at Old Raceway Park for Tough Mudder.
On the call tonight, we have Kate Hilton, who's representative for Old Bridge Raceway Park.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Ms. Hilton, can you just give a summary of the event proposed for mass assembly to the council?
Absolutely. This event is for Tough Mudder for September 11th and 12th. It is a 2-day mud run that we've had multiple years. They are anticipating for Saturday, up to 5,000, but anticipating less than 5,000 for Saturday and less than 2,000 people for Sunday. They do have ALS units booked. 10 additional medics on site will be there with UTVs to provide response. They have a medical tent that will be set up. They are going to be in contact with the fire marshal for any permits and inspections that they need. And they did provide their emergency action plan as well with all of their contacts.
Okay,
Ms. Hilton met all the requirements of the application for mass assembly and was reviewed by the departments and given approval in accordance with the ordinance. Are there any questions?
yep. Do we have any questions from any council members? No? None? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna open it to the public now. Okay, so
At this time, if there's anybody who would like to make a public comment on our hearing for the mass assembly at Old Raceway Park regarding Tough Mudder, they can call into Zoom. Our call-in number is 929-205-6099. Our Zoom ID is 862-4764-0480, and our passcode is 978821. Once you're in the Zoom, if you'd like to raise your hand to make a comment from your phone, press *9. From your Mac or PC, you can press Option or Alt-Y, or from your computer app or phone app, you can choose the option for Raise Hand. Once your hand is raised, you'll be allowed to unmute. You can address council with your comments. Council President, I do not have any raised hands on this matter.
okay, then I would ask for a motion to close it.
Motion close.
Second,
Second.
Second.
motion by Mr. Rizzoli, second by Mr. Murphy.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin? Oh, he's thumbs up, so yes to close public comment. Mr. Murphy? Mr. Murphy? You're muted, Mr. Murphy.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Zohor?
Yes,
We have 9 ayes to close the public comment on this matter.
okay, so
Okay.
now,
A motion to approve
Yep.
the assembly.
yeah, I'd like someone to make a motion to approve this mass
Move
assembly.
it.
I move it. Second.
Second.
And moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Okay. Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy? Mr. Murphy, you're muted.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Zohor?
Yes,
We have 9 ayes to accept this assembly.
thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Good night, Kate. Next will be approval of minutes of previous meetings. Council combined meeting minutes of July 13th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. De Palma.
Okay. Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Zohor?
Yes,
We have 9 ayes.
executive session minutes for June 22nd, 2021. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
I'll
Second.
second.
Okay, moved by Mr. De Palma, second by Dr. Greenberg Bello.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Mr. Merwin,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
I abstain on that.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sohor.
Yes.
We have 8 ayes and 1 abstention.
Next will be mayor with council concurrence, a resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Albridge appointing Casey Lenning as the Director of Public Works. Mayor Henry?
Yes, thank you, council members. Thank you. Great to see everyone. And thank you for giving me a minute putting this on the agenda tonight. Tonight, as the agenda states, I asked for concurrence by the council for my recommendation of Mr. Casey Williams Lenning Jr. To head our Public Works Department. After a thorough recruitment and interview process, I have selected Mr. Lennings for a number of reasons. I feel a person should possess a certain degree, certain criteria, as we say, to be elevated, in this case, to a department head. Certainly one of the criteria is knowledge and skill set of the task at hand, and required to operate, manage, and coordinate a fairly large department here in Albridge with a lot of responsibilities. I'm convinced that Mr. Lenning has the knowledge and he has the skill set. A second criteria I was looking for is respect and support of his peers and coworkers. And I certainly believe and have confirmed that he does have the respect and support of his peers and his co-workers here in town. Dedication. Mr. Lenning has never failed to answer the phone or a call, and I can assure you, my 10 years as mayor, has never walked or run away for any problem that was put in the way. And lastly, finally, I think most important criteria is integrity and honesty. I know his mom and dad, and I can assure you that integrity and honesty was instilled or installed in Mr. Lennings at a very early age. Mr. Lennings is homegrown, and I believe he will be a tremendous asset to our management team, which is responsible for the day-to-day operations of Albridge and its residents. I know Mr. Lennings, in this case, has big shoes to fill, but I'm convinced that the shoes fit, and Mr. Lennings will wear them quite well. So council, I believe Mr. Lennings has joined us. I would like for him to say a few words. If any council members have any questions for Mr. Lennings, feel free to ask of myself. And upon his completion, council, I would love someone to make a motion, and I would really appreciate a roll call and support of this appointment to Department Head of Public Works. So thank you in advance, council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
There he is. I see him.
Good evening, Casey. How are you?
Very good. Yeah, first I'd like to start by thanking the mayor and Hamachu for this opportunity. As the mayor had said, I am a lifelong resident. I've chosen Albridge, to raise my children and have my family. I'm proud to say that I'm from Albridge, and that I'm employed by the township. I've been with the township for the last 13 years and have served in every aspect of the Department of Public Works. And I'm excited to continue that and, take the helm and lead the department in the future.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Mr.
Yeah,
Lenning?
congratulations, Casey.
Yes, I had the pleasure to work with Casey on the planning board for a year, and I've gotten to know him, and I would highly recommend him for this position. He's a good, honorable gentleman, and all my dealings with him throughout the 4 years that I've been counsel have been outstanding. So I highly recommend him for this position.
Thank you. Anyone else from council?
I'll make a comment also, and I think it speaks for us all that
Casey has stepped up at every time that he was called to help us in any way, in any ward in town. He's very responsive, but most of all, he's polite, he's professional, and he's pleasant to be around. And thank you for taking this position. It's not an easy one, but I know from your coworkers that I've spoken to, they're looking forward to you being at the head of the department. And I wish you all the best.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I just want to congratulate Casey. He's such a hard worker. He's always pleasant and great to work with, and I'm really looking forward to working with you in the future. I'm so glad you were chosen.
Thank you.
And else, council?
Mayor?
Yes, Dave?
Yes. I can only echo what the mayor said. I had the privilege of working with Casey's father on the police department. I've had the pleasure of working with Casey as an employee and working with Casey as a council person. I think he should have been named the next day, but they had to go through their process. Congratulations, Casey, and stick around for a while, will you?
Thank you.
Else from the council? And Mr. De Palma?
Yep, just congratulations, Casey. I know you have big shoes to fill, but I know you're going to do it. Good luck.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll close those comments, which again echoing. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Brown, go ahead.
Yeah, I've already spoken to Casey, but congratulations again. And it's been good working with you to do cleanups locally in town. And so being around you, I already know that you're a great person to fill this role. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, well then I will close the comments by also congratulating you naturally. I think you've exhibited a lot of the leadership qualities that are really important when you're going to be running a department as you are. And I really think there's strength there. And I think you're a good role model for not only those that are becoming on, but those that are here as well already. So congratulations and lots of good luck. So that being said, I will ask for a motion.
Move it. I make a motion.
Second.
Okay, so Dr. Greenberg Belli made the motion and Mr.
Second.
Okay.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Wholeheartedly, yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes, and congratulations, Casey.
Thank you.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohor?
Yes, congratulations, Casey. Lots of luck.
Thank you.
Council President, if I may,
Yes. Of
welcome,
course.
Casey, to our great management team. I know you will be a great addition to this team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Council, very much. Thank you.
Okay, next will be a council appointment, a resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Albridge appointing members to the Ethics Standard Board for a term ending.
December 31st, 2024.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to nominate Robert Novo.
Second.
So it was by myself and then Dr. Greenberg made the second.
Okay. Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes,
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli? Oh, absent Dias. Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohor?
Yes,
That's 8 ayes and 1 absent Dias.
thank you. Next will be the bill list. Mrs. Walker.
Yes. Accounts payable, $14,632,688.69.
Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Okay.
I
Oh, hold on.
was going to read the list first.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
July 23rd, 2021, payroll, $864,598.56. July 23rd, 2021, payroll overtime, $41,878.07. August 6th, 2021, payroll, $874,879.86. August 6, 2021. Payroll overtime, $49,376.76.
Okay, are we good, Mrs. Walker?
That's good. That's it.
Okay, can we have a breakdown, Mr. Shaw, of the overtime, please?
Hamachi, you're muted.
Yes, Council President, thank you. As Councilwoman Walker indicated, the overtime for pay period July 23 was 41,878.07, and for August 6, $49,376.76. There are no issue in any other department. For police overtime for July 23rd, the total sworn officers overtime was $31,687.30. Deduct grant, $8,411.73. Deduct ETO, $3,995.64. The net overtime for July 23rd was $19,279.93, representing 360 men and women hours. There was no special events in police department, and there was nobody injured on duty or light duty, and no officers were quarantined that pay period. For August 6th, the total sworn officers overtime was $37,124.82. Deduct grant, $6,001.22. Deduct ETO, $2,643.42. Net total overtime for this pay period was $28,418.18, representing 459 men and women hours. During this time, there was no special events. No one was injured on duty or light duty. But 5 officers were quarantined during this pay period. That concludes my report, Council President.
Move it.
Second.
It was already moved in second.
Muted. Ms. Brown? You're muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry, space bar wasn't working. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohor?
Yes.
We have 9 ayes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Walker. We do not have any ordinances for second reading this evening. Next, we'll go to our consent agenda. I would ask for a motion and a second, and then we'll take separations.
Move
I'll
it.
move it.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker, second
Second.
by Dr. Greenberg Bella.
Ms. Brown, do you have any removals from the agenda?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Mr. De Palma?
I just see one.
Okay. Dr. Greenberg Belli?
No, thank you.
Mr. Merwin?
Yeah, C2 and C7.
C2 and C7. Thank you. Mr. Murphy?
No, thank you.
Mr. Piscitty?
No separations, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rizzoli?
No, thank you.
Ms. Walker?
No, thank you.
President Sohor?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. So C1, C2, and C7.
Right.
Ms. Brown? Oh, wait, you have to make your statement. I'm sorry. So you're gonna pass it with the,
Yeah, we're voting on everyone with the exception of those 3 items. Okay.
okay. So Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohor?
Yes.
You have 9 ayes.
Okay. Next will be C1, Mr. De Palma.
Yes, just had a question either Mr. Shah or Ms. Shapiro. What part of 516 is specifically this grant for?
I believe it's from the near the town hall to the high school. But I think Nicole is on. She can confirm that, please.
Yes, Councilman De Palma, it is from Cottrell Road to the high school, and it's the missing sections. We had a federal grant that was issued to us in 2018, and as part of that, we have to follow the federal process. This is actually NJDEP permit. We have to do a pedestrian bridge. So this will give us an application in front of NJDEP. So I would sign the land use regulation LURP application form for a general permit associated with the sidewalk that crosses sort of like a wetlands area at the low point.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If no one has anything, I'll move it.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. De Palma, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Mr. Merwin,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Piscity,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sohor.
Yes.
We have 9 ayes.
Okay, next will be C2, Mr. Merwin.
Yes, usually there's a hourly rate and an amount that's put with this, and it seems to be not there.
Mr. Shaw?
I believe the contract amount, it's Ms. Roselli, I'm sorry. Madam
Yeah,
President.
no, go right ahead,
I believe
Mr.
The
Rizzoli.
contract amount is not to exceed $17,500. I think that's in the resolution.
Okay.
And then the hourly rate is $195 an hour.
Is that the going rate for everybody?
Well, that's actually, I wouldn't know if it's a going rate, Mr. Merwin. They vary, and depending upon the particular expertise, rates have gone somewhere between $160,000 and $200,000. Not my rate, though.
No, not your. No, that's it. If nobody else has anything, I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Merwin, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Mr. Merwin,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Piscity,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sohor.
Yes.
We have 9 ayes.
Next will be C7, Mr. Merwin.
Yes. What are we doing with the old bleachers?
Well, obviously there will be remove scrap. I don't have Matt is on vacation, so I don't have the detailed plan. I don't know, Nicole, you aware of that? The plan, is that being taken away or scrapped
I'm sorry, Himanshu, which plan was that?
on the bleachers?
No. I think the bleachers from the last I heard were going in.
No. The old bleachers that are there, they're going to be scrapped, right? They're going to be removed and junk them.
Yes, I believe so.
They're not usable anywhere, right?
I don't believe so.
Well, can we find out?
I can certainly, when Matt comes back next week, I can certainly talk to him, see if they're usable, or somebody. We have to be careful on giving anywhere or putting any place, because they were recommended for replacement for us.
Yes, Mr. Shah, I believe there were some deficiencies in them, and that's why they're being replaced.
Right.
We, and as you said, There's a liability issue I believe the contract calls for them to be removed, whether or not they're going to be, but I don't think have plans to use them anywhere on township property for liability issues. That's where they're being replaced.
Okay, if nobody else has anything, I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Merwin, second by Mr. Murphy.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
yes,
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Solwer?
Yes.
That's 9 ayes.
Okay, that concludes the consent agenda. Next will be discussion ordinances. First one is eliminate ordinance 235-16A and B. I believe Mr. Reardon is here this evening.
Council President Pat Reardon is online. He's going to provide the background and information, his recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Pat, you're on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, good evening, Mr.
Okay. So very simply, I'm always recommending changes to streamline the department and make things better for the public. This is one thing I proposed that it's time for it's come time to get rid of it, I believe. But so I propose the elimination of this section in its entirety for the following reasons. The inspection is a duplication of efforts on the township. Well, let me go back and give you a little history, actually. Originally, the ordinance was created and implemented to protect the buyer, home buyers to some minimal extent, and to maintain our housing stock in a minimal standard for the benefit of all residents. Since then, the standard procedure to have a licensed private home inspection service perform an in-depth inspection for the purchase of a home has become commonplace. They're actually able to go further than the township could and does, and provide inspections, including structural and mechanical deficiencies that better protect the buyer. In addition, we've enacted the International Property Maintenance Code and the Vacant Property Registration Ordinance in recent years to address the declining housing stock. And we are actively enforcing those ordinances, as you know. So again, it's a duplication of efforts, I feel. It's an added additional cost to homeowners. In some instances, the buyer gets saddled with that responsibility based on negotiations, I guess. Township inspections only based on the property maintenance code and does not address serious mechanical or structural issues, as a home inspector can and will do. Further holds up closings when buyer and seller have an agreement placed to address such issues as well. Added costs to the township in the way of salaries, benefits, vehicles, softwares, and other supplies that wouldn't no longer be needed. Our housing inspectors are not licensed and do not have the expertise to determine serious structural or mechanical deficiencies. This procedure is not required by state law or statute, and many towns have no resale requirements, such as East Brunswick, Monroe, Helmetta, Spotswood, to name a few surrounding. So I propose that we eliminate the ordinance, eliminate the process, and save the public some money. So for that, I'll open it up to any questions or comments.
Council President, if I may.
Yes.
I think, last couple of years, all the council member has reached out to me looking for assistance to the buyers or sellers because of delay. And when we do the inspection and there are other issue comes up, we have to address it because we are liable if something doesn't happen right. One of the biggest problem we have seen is that many times there's an open permit that require closing. That is, it's on the books. If you don't close it, the buyer becomes responsible and ultimately we become responsible. By not eliminating things, we eliminate all of those. It becomes a responsibility. Obviously, there's one thing I want, is obvious in that the buyers has to take the steps, have their own inspection, and their own attorney should be doing thorough follow up, making sure the permits are open. They do it right now. They all do it right now. So I think eliminating that, it will eliminate for us as a responsible party for delay, not getting closed. And so I support Pat's recommendation. I've been trying to find a way to do, help our residents. And his recommendation, and after reviewing with the legal department, I thought it was appropriate to bring it to your attention.
Mr. Shaw. Now, does any council member have a question for Mr. Reardon?
Mr. Reardon, this is to put the payment on the home of the person buying the home?
Now, this is to eliminate the whole process altogether, so the township's not involved in the process of buying and selling a home.
It's a good thing.
Okay, I feel that, you should at least do that little inspection you always did. If they want to do a bigger inspection, that's up to the person moving in. Is this going to be for apartments too?
Well, that's a good question. If we eliminate A and B, Mr. Roselli can confirm that. Actually, yes, it would include both unless we reworded both paragraphs, which is also an option.
Well, that's horrible because every time an apartment has to go through it, they have to go through a CO. And I believe that has to happen. And I will not vote for this.
Madam Chairperson.
Oh, say again.
Madam
Mr.
Chair-
Merwin, go right ahead. Yes, Mr. Merwin.
John kind of stole my thunder there. This is like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We know we had some problems with the sales. And it's almost like a duplication because I would say 90% of the people hire an outside inspector to do a thorough, comprehensive inspection. But the minute we remove these apartments and these single family home rentals off of this, we're gonna have slums. And believe me, you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile, and they're not going to maintain these apartments in the condition that they've been maintained in. And the only reason they're maintained in that condition is because the inspectors are there each time there's a change of occupancy. And I too, could not support this as it's presented, to eliminate the whole thing. Rewording it, to remove the sale, I'm all for it. But to rent, lease, whatever other terms they can use to try to circumvent this ordinance, that's what I want to say. I want to see this ordinance stay minus the sales.
Councilman, this ordinance is not drafted yet. This is a discussion. We want to get all the input and then draft ordinance. And I think it makes sense to keep the rentals and just eliminate the sales.
Okay, does anyone else have any comments? Mr. Pischetti? No? Okay.
I would comment, but I'd rather not.
Okay.
But I like the effort that Mr. Reardon has put forward to streamline his department. And if he feels that we should be getting rid of some ordinances, I'm all for eliminating some laws. We have too many laws. We really need to get rid of some. I mean, I'm not saying get rid of all of them, but I am saying that these cumbersome ones that bind the homeowner and they can't sell the home because of all these things, because of our ordinance, hey, it seems like a no-brainer to me to get rid of it. But we don't, do we actually inspect rentals? Do we go into a rental property and inspect it before it re-rents?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We inspect
didn't know
every
that.
apartment that re-rents every month.
Process.
We inspect every home that gets rented.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
Anyone else from the council have a comment? Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I agree with the single family homes because they get home inspectors that do a thorough inspection. I think it's just doing it twice. But the rentals, I think we should still continue to do them.
Anyone else for a comment? Okay, well, obviously, we've had a good discussion, and I think it would seem that the majority of the council, if I'm not mistaken, is interested in this, but only with one section of it, not the rental aspect of it. Am I correct, or are there people out there that feel it should be both?
No, I think we're in agreement that the rentals should be, maintained with inspections. And I think everyone should recognize that truly, when they do the inspections and find things, they probably save you money in the long run. I mean, I don't think they're there to punish someone. I think they're there to assist someone and help someone. And I think you have to look at it from all sides and understand the dynamics of what they do. So as far as with people, paying someone, you just hope they do their due diligence. You hope their attorneys do their due diligence and they're thorough on the inspections. And I think then negotiations is between the buyer and the seller. And it eliminates, the town getting involved with that. But with inspections, when you have multi-units together, as we know, if there's not inspections, fire hazards, it can be very damaging to a whole section in the apartment complex. Many lives we know, when you have fires there. So I think having inspectors and following through with that really, aids, the residents very much. So, I think that's where I stand on it, and just so I understand it, and that's how it was presented.
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Murphy? Unmute yourself, please.
These inspections you're talking about, they're very quick, right? It's just they check the fire alarm, they may check the electric, they flush the toilet. That's all it really is. It's not looking at anything structured. It's more of a safety issue, isn't it?
Well, we follow the International Property Maintenance Code that's adopted by ordinance. We do not check the fire alarms. They are checked by the fire department separately with a separate inspection.
I just want to be clear.
And that is required by state law.
Right.
So then what
that will not go away.
What do you inspect?
It's we test the electric, the water, sewer, general property maintenance. If it needs,
Those are things they should check before they sell it. I don't think you should put that on a new homeowner. I have a problem with that too. It's just, why are we going to put more? We're having people come to town again. We're pushing them away, and I have a problem with that. I have a bigger problem with the apartments, but I just don't like the whole idea. I mean, you're trying to streamline the apartment, and I don't know what you're trying to do. You're not having enough inspectors.
Let me explain. Every home buying, when you apply for mortgage, they require home inspection report, thorough inspector. So there are agencies outside.
That's not necessarily true.
I know, but most of them do require that.
No.
And most home buyers today will hire outside agency. So that's what they're saying about a home sales, that we're recommending eliminate that part of the process. I think we agree that rental, we should continue that.
I agree with there, but you're also, Mr. Reardon is saying they check the water, they check the toilets. That stuff should be checked before you have a new homeowner come in. Because I would say 99% of the people that buy homes do not go for the inspection, because you would never buy the house.
So
find every crack in a window, everything.
So can I just let me interject, because you're just getting too far off spread. So you're talking about various different issues. This is not a certificate of occupancy inspection. It is not, right?
But it is for the apartments.
Let me talk. That's not what this is about, right? So various municipalities have, which should be, or called a certificate of resale. And to Pat's, Mr. Reardon's point, governmental entities aren't in the business of, nor should they be, of assuring that, when someone's purchasing a home, that every aspect of a home or properties being inspected because that is not their expertise, right? You don't have that ability. And so what some towns have done is to do a standard of inspection for resale, but it's certainly not saying, hey, we've looked at we've looked at the entire electrical system, we've looked at the panel, we've inspected the plumbing system, we've inspected the structural integrity. That is not what this is about. I think it's a basic review that you would expect, and Pat, you can correct me, that a dwelling place would have. Again, turn the faucet, the water works. Flush the toilet, the toilet flushes. You switch a switch, the light goes on. So it's a basic review to say that, hey, from what we can tell, these systems work, and yes, these are things that we would expect for this property to be habitable, right? And so that's what it is. What it is not is, when people hire a third party to do a more in-depth analysis to determine if there's structural issues, if there are roof leaks, things like that, because that's what these people get paid to do. And I think, from municipality's perspective, homeowners had a false sense of security that municipalities did these all-encompassing inspections.
Okay.
And I think it's a false security, right? Because that's not what they're intended to. Some municipalities, have a more stringent type of inspection, and that's up to them. But what I think that the majority of the council is saying is that for single family homes, let the market dictate who gets the inspections. But for what I'll refer to as rentals, which, whether it's a single family house or multiple dwelling, that those types of inspections, which are more transient, right? And there's not necessarily an investment. There's at least a single line, and people typically don't get home inspection for those properties, that there's some type of inspection for that. And that's where we'll leave it.
Okay.
Okay.
I apologize. I misunderstood. I thought this was part of their CO. Like when anybody moves out an apartment, it is a part of their CO to get somebody else to move in.
Now, again, remember, the CO is issued once a building is built. That's in the beginning. This has nothing to do with the certificate of occupancy.
I know it from where I live. Every time somebody moves out, they must get a CO.
It's not a CO. Right. It's a certificate of approval to show that it's been inspected. A CO is issued after construction's complete. Construction official goes in and says, hey, you met the building requirements, you hit your CO. That's not what this is. This is just a re-inspect to make sure that those basic aspects of a dwelling unit, in this instance, we'll leave it for rental units, function. So we know that when somebody goes in, they switch their, at least after the inspection, yes, the lights work, the water worked, the sewer worked. Am I correct, Pat?
You are correct. I've had many complaints to that effect that we didn't go far enough in our inspection as well. So the complaints have been both ways on the resales. So it's something I would rather get out of and just stick with the rentals if that's what council's pleasure is.
Good explanation, Mr. Roselli, and I appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
Okay, anyone else from council for a comment? So we have a consensus that we want to maintain the rental inspections.
Right. So for the next council meeting, I'll have work with Pat to come up with a draft for an ordinance for introduction and just pertaining to rental type units.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Madam Chairperson.
Yes, Mr.
Just for
Merlin.
the attorney, this is to make sure that this is multifamily, single family, any rental
Rent.
that is rented in Aldridge.
Correct. It'll be for rental units. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I think, are there guidelines, Mr. Roselli, for Section 8 as far as that's concerned, inspections, or is it just whatever the town does?
Yeah. I think, look, if someone has those types of housing, the federal government may have certain inspections that the property owner may have to undertake, right? That's separate and apart from what we're doing.
Okay, right, okay, just wanted to be sure. All right, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
yeah, thanks for all the explanation, Mr. Reardon. Have a good evening. Okay, next will be ordinance amending Albridge Township Code, Chapter 10, Section 8.7, titled Parking Regulations to prohibit parking along Valley Avenue. Mrs. Shapiro, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President. Council may recall that at our June meeting, Councilman Merwin had brought to our attention this item for discussion, for purposes of discussion, for limiting parking on Valley Avenue. At that time, engineering hadn't had a chance to look at it, and he had requested that we take a look and provide an engineering report on what our recommendations would be as far as parking on Valley Avenue. For council, Valley Avenue sort of runs in the southerly south-north direction. It starts at Lawrence Parkway, travels south to Greenwood Avenue, and is quite narrow. From Lawrence Parkway, traveling south to Morningside Avenue, it's about 22 feet. It does widen after Morningside Avenue to Greenwood Avenue to about 22, starting at about 22 feet, and then sort of expands up until certain sections of 28 feet wide. We took a look at sort of the characteristic of the street and what's going on. There's a report where I have some pictures in there. One of the first pictures that I show is a photo taken from Lawrence Parkway as you make the right turn onto Valley Avenue. And there are some no parking signs on the west side of Valley Avenue. And in the first photo I show you in the report, there is a small area that a car is permitted to park between these no parking signs. They were put up by our police safety, traffic and safety division in response to our residents' complaints about vehicular safety when turning from Lawrence Parkway into Valley Avenue. Once a car is parked, especially in the southerly direction, cars would then have to go on the opposing traffic side of the road so that they could pass any vehicles that are parked on the road. So our police department had gone out and based on Title 39 and its proximity to the intersection with Morningside Avenue, they were able to put up these no parking signs only on the west side as you come off of Lawrence Parkway. What I also noticed was that there was about 20 different properties that have frontage along Valley Avenue. But what's important to note is only 5 of the 20 properties have their front door facing Valley Avenue. So as you come down the road and you're away from sort of that critical—
We've lost the audio.
The critical, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Sort of that critical pivot point between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue, you're basically looking at about 5 homes that front the street. So the parking on the remainder of the road is really not an issue because the homeowners of the other 15 parcels park on the side streets that basically terminate at Valley Avenue. And so with their guests, any guests that would, come to those other 15 homes would park on the side roads because they want to enter those front doors. Now, the 5 parcels that are remaining, you could tell that some of the pieces of property have parking that's sort of in a grass area off the pavement. So they're not really obstructing the flow of traffic. Councilman.
Ms. Walker, are you saying you are having audio issues?
Mrs. Walker, are you having audio issues?
She can't hear.
Yes, Nicole keeps coming in and out.
Huh. All right. Anyone else have the same problem or, all
I was also, now I can hear.
right, can you? Or,
Perhaps, Mr. Shaw, I believe that Councilwoman Walker and Councilwoman Greenberg Belli are in the administrative area. Is there something that we could do? Maybe it's something with the storms that are passing through that the audio is coming in and out.
I don't think, I think I can hear.
I can hear
clearly.
now.
I don't think it's a weather issue,
Okay,
but I'll check. I'll walk outside and check on it.
okay. Well, let me continue. So there was one, I'm sorry. There was one, the first issue was the parking along the entrance and that critical choke point between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue. The second is the remaining portion of the roadway does have limited width, but it has the availability of side streets so that they could park on those streets. And then there's also the third issue of site visibility as you're traveling north on Valley Avenue. As you're approaching Lawrence Parkway. The site visibility, because of some trees that are in the way of that turn, because there's a slight skew in the road when you get to Morningside Avenue, would probably require pruning of those trees in that area. So we looked at all three of those issues, and we felt that based on the ordinance, really, we should be prohibiting the parking from Lawrence Parkway to Morningside Avenue. And that would probably be the beneficial. Limiting parking at the other side or the other lengths of the roadway would probably not be required. And that's what is in your packet as a ordinance tonight, should you feel that it would be appropriate to move it up to first reading.
Is that your recommendation, Nicole?
It would be, because it's not, it doesn't seem to be a problem. It's the angle. The pivot point is actually at Morningside Avenue. So you're coming off of Lawrence Parkway, especially when you're traveling in the eastbound direction in Lawrence Parkway towards the beachfront, and you make a right turn, you're almost blind to when you turn onto that street and see a car parked on the west side. And then, our assistant township engineer, Fred, when he was looking at this, he had to go on the opposing side of traffic. One of our other engineers, Timmy Joy, went out and took a look at the site as well. And the same exact iteration happened. Notice in my report, there was that one picture where there is a car parked there, and that home has a parking lot that could fit several cars on Lawrence Parkway, with access from Lawrence Parkway. And then there's another house that has access from Valley Avenue, but they have a driveway too. So they could park in their driveway as well to sort of avoid that area, or park further up on Valley Avenue instead. So it's really at that point between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue where there is an issue. And then I would like the parking to extend slightly beyond, the no parking to extend slightly beyond the Morningside Avenue intersection with Valley Avenue, but that can be taken care of by Title 39 with its proximity to that intersection. You could then, put up a sign a distance away from the intersection. So it would only have to then encompass both sides of the roadway on Valley Avenue, between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue. So I believe that in Novus, there's one line in there that just says Valley Avenue, both sides between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue. And that's the recommendation tonight.
Thank you.
thank you, Mrs. Shapiro. Does any council person have a question for Mrs. Shapiro? No one?
I just have a question. Has, from the police department, has there been report of any accidents or any concerns from residents over there also?
I didn't check on the accidents, but what I did check was I had spoken to Sergeant Higgins in their traffic group, and he had put me in touch with Officer Penley, and this was in response with complaints from residents in 2020. They had gone out in 2020 and put those no parking signs on that western side of the roadway based on the comments that had come to them, but the no parking on that side based on Title 39 still left a small window where one car was even able to park, and then that still was a problem. So the complaints still came in because of that one car, and then people going on the other side of the street. If you see in my report, when I do a map, it is skewed. It actually sort of goes in a southeasterly direction and then turns into a south, almost westerly direction, or due south direction. So there is a pivot point in the roadway. It is not a straight shot when you're making that right turn from Lawrence Parkway as you're traveling eastbound and towards the beachfront. It's that skew that makes it a little bit more difficult and a little unsafe for the vehicles when they're turning on there. Now, when you're coming in the westerly direction on Lawrence Parkway, you have clear visibility when you're making a left turn that you could see if there's a car coming. So then you know to, sort of hug the westerly curb line, or maybe wait it out behind the parked vehicle. But when you're traveling eastbound on Lawrence Parkway towards the beachfront, you're almost blind until you turn, and then you're trying to avoid a parked car. Your instinct is to go around it, and then now you're looking at a car coming towards you because there's a skew in that roadway alignment. So you don't see that car coming towards you. Now, one of the third things that we point out is that there is a 40-foot right-of-way on the roadway. There is a spruce and a Japanese red maple. The Japanese red maple, I believe, could be pruned. I mean, one of the trees have to probably go, but we would start by pruning to see if the visibility would be better. And once you remove the cars parked on the roadway in that small stretch, your visibility will increase. So before we start pruning any trees, it would probably be beneficial to just start with the no parking and see how that improves.
I'm glad we're addressing it before something does happen. And I just wanted to know whether there was something else that precipitated this. So I'm glad, you're being proactive. Thank you.
Anyone else have a comment or a question for Mrs. Shapiro?
Well, my question is going to be for you, Mayor. We're moving this for a vote now.
Well, I believe the consensus looks like we'd like to move it up to first reading, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So yes, that's what.
Mr. Roselli.
Yeah, Mr. Roselli.
You're
Mr.
muted.
Roselli. 1 second, Mr. Martin. Mr. Roselli, did you have something you wanted to add?
Mr. Roselli, you're muted.
So we're clear, since there always seems to be confusion here, that the vote will be to introduce it.
Right.
And the other thing is that we probably need to insert before Lawrence Parkway, either from Lawrence Parkway to Morningside Avenue, or from Lawrence Parkway, or, it just says Lawrence Parkway to Morningside Avenue. So I would suggest that we amend it so it reads between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue.
Okay.
All right, so it's Valley Avenue, both sides. Location is between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue.
And then, Mr. Roselli, is it appropriate that we follow Title 39 for then extending it just to past that intersection of Morningside Avenue because of the proximity to the intersection? I believe I cited the exact title for 39 where it then I believe from the intersection you can go a certain distance back, just to extend it a little bit past Morningside on both sides.
So So your report says be from that distance, so you want to change it. Is that what you're telling me?
No. I'm saying I want it to be that way, but based on what the officers had suggested to me, Title 39 gives them the ability to put that no parking sign from a intersection, extend it from an intersection. So I would like to extend it just that 100 feet south on Valley Avenue after you pass Morningside Avenue. Or we could say from Lawrence Parkway 100 to Morningside, 100 feet south of Morningside Avenue.
Can certainly say that.
Okay.
150 it is, isn't it, Nicole?
It might be. I don't want to, I cited the Title 39 section. I did not put the distance. Oh, yes, it is 150 feet.
Dave, can we introduce next meeting, confirm everything? Is that okay? Or you
Well,
rather?
we're trying to get it moved because school's starting, you know, and the school buses and everything are in the other lane. And that's what the neighbors were concerned about, was the safety of the kids. So that's why I brought it up in June. Hopefully it would have been done, but you know.
Councilman Merwin, I do see it, 150 feet. So 150
I asked
feet
for
south.
145, Nicole likes round numbers.
So
All right, so that's confirmed for introduction.
On the right side, which is what, the eastern side of the roadway?
No, it would be both sides, 150 feet south of Morningside Avenue, both sides.
So between Lawrence Parkway to a point 150 feet south of Morningside Avenue?
Yes.
No, from Lawrence Parkway, 150 feet from Lawrence Parkway.
No.
Yeah.
From Lawrence Parkway
Yeah, 150.
to a point 150 feet south of Morningside Avenue, both sides.
As amended.
Yes.
No, Nicole, that'll put it up on the other side of Orchard Avenue. That's not correct. It's 150 feet away from the corner of Lawrence Parkway, 150 feet, which will put it past Morningside Avenue.
The intent is not to go to Orchard Avenue. It's almost to go to sort of like a third the length between Morningside Avenue and Orchard Avenue. I think we could agree that if it's a third of the length, I'm going to provide Mr. Roselli with the exact number. And so that would be then in the ordinance itself, and then you will see that come next meeting. So it would be a point. I don't think 150 feet will bring you to Orchard Avenue. I don't even think it would bring you to the midpoint between Morningside Avenue and Orchard Avenue.
It would if you said from Morningside Avenue. It's from Lawrence Parkway, 150 feet south, would bring you up past that bend.
It's exactly 150 feet from Lawrence Parkway to Morningside Avenue. We agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at my map and you look at the distance between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue, and you think about that being 150 feet, it would put you at the midpoint between Morningside Avenue and Orchard Avenue if we call that 150 feet.
Can anybody talk to these residents about this?
Some of the residents were the ones complaining.
I mean, if you go down Valley Avenue 150 feet, you know, you got other residents that might get affected here. Well, they will get affected.
Well, Councilman Piscetty, that's why I was saying that there's 20 properties along that roadway from Lawrence Parkway to Greenwood Avenue. But of the 20 properties that exist, only 5 front Valley Avenue. And of the 5, all of them have driveways. So it really wouldn't, the parking for those where the street chokes down to about 22 feet, those people park off the pavement and on a vegetated area that's in front of their house, but in front of a fence line, so it's not like it's their front yard. It's sort of barely vegetated, if I would say.
Yeah, but if these people, let's say, have a party, a July 4th party, and they have a bunch of people over, they may want to park in the street, on Valley Avenue. So could we make the sign like Monday through Friday or something like that?
Why is it less safe on the weekends?
You were talking about school buses and safety for children, and I'm talking about I don't know. I mean, I don't know, Dave. I'm just saying,
No,
these folks at Valley Avenue, they should know what's going on.
Well, this part of Valley Avenue that this section that we're prohibiting is probably about 20% of the entire length. And then if somebody falls in, like, let's say, the beginning piece, and there's people that come over, they're more than welcome to then park on a side street. They don't have to park on Valley. There's 5 side streets that actually, Valley is a collector road, basically. So all the roads run perpendicular to Valley, and Valley collects everything and then brings you to Lawrence Parkway. So it's not that the prohibition would really be sort of a detriment, right? So they would then just park around the corner.
I'm just saying that, look, I understand between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue, that definitely should be no parking on both sides.
Yes.
When you go 150 feet down past Morningside, you're encroaching on other residents down there that, may utilize that street for parking when they have visitors.
Tony, I agree with you. That's why I think Nicole has her numbers mixed up. But listen, to the attorney, can we pass this tonight and make an amendment at the next meeting for the adoption? Or should we just put this off until the next meeting? You want to make sure it's right.
I always want to make sure it's right. I just don't have a sense of the extent of the change, right? So obviously between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue is one area. So the question is, Nicole, your recommendation is to extend it beyond Morningside Avenue?
Yeah, she's saying 150 feet.
Well, Title 30, when I was talking to Sergeant Higgins and I believe Officer Penley, and it might have been.
Let's do this. Let's introduce it between Lawrence Parkway and Morningside Avenue. And then if we need to amend it further beyond that, so I have a real sense of what they're trying to say.
Yes.
We can always amend it, but at least that area will have the no parking in place by the time it starts up.
Okay.
That sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Yes.
For an attorney, that sounds real reasonable.
Okay.
See, Dave, contrary to majority opinion, sometimes they can be reasonable.
Absolutely. Okay. So do we have a motion then to introduce?
Move it. Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Rizzoli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Who's Dr. Greenberg?
Sorry, Dr. Greenberg.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli? Is that a yes? Mr. Rizzoli, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Sawar?
Yes.
We have 9 ayes.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Shapiro.
Hey, Dave,
Thank you.
to be sure, go walk it off.
My God.
Okay, we're good. All right. Next will be ordinances for first reading. FR1 capital ordinance for 2021, various park improvements. Do I have a motion?
Second. Move
Moved
it.
by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Silver. Yes.
We have 9 ayes.
Okay, next will be FR2, an ordinance adopting the redevelopment plan for the area at the intersection of Jake Brown Road and US Highway 9 and White Oak Lane and Jake Brown Road. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg, second by Mr. Pasquini.
Okay, Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Mr. Merwin. I'm sorry, Ms.
Abstain.
Abstain. Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Pasquini,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sawar.
Yes.
We have 8 ayes and 1 abstention.
Okay, next is FR3, an ordinance adopting the redevelopment plan for 200 Lawrence Parkway. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Mr. Pasquini.
Sorry. Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Mr. Merwin,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Pasquini,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sawar.
Yes.
We have 9 ayes.
Okay, next will be report of the township clerk.
I have no report tonight.
Thank you. Township attorney report, Mr.
Nothing
Rizzoli.
to report, Madam President.
And administrative report, Mr. Shah.
Thank you, Council President. Administrative report for August 10th. Item number 1, 2021 Annual Drainage Improvement Program. On July 30, 2021, bids were received and opened for the 2021 Annual Drainage Improvement Program contract number 2021-46. Bids from 12 contractors were received, with Mascrola Excavating, Inc. being the lowest qualified bidder. Construction includes drainage improvement on the following roads: Athens Avenue, Cindy Street, Clearbrook Court, Craigton Circle, Grace Drive, Hawthorne Lane, Inverness Drive, Morgan Avenue, Washington Avenue, and Warner Court. Award of this contract has been included in tonight's consent agenda with the construction schedule for fall 2021. Item number 2, 2021 Annual Curb Replacement Program. On July 30, 2021, bids were received and opened for 2021 Annual Curb Replacement Program contract number 2021-45. Bids from 6 contractors were received, with Lancha Construction being the lowest bidder. Construction includes curb replacement on the following roads: Erica Court, Grenoble Court, Inverness Drive, Plymouth Court, Terrell Road, Tompkins Road, and York Street. Award of this contract has been included on tonight's consent agenda with the construction schedule for fall 2021. Item number 3, Building Department renovation. Renovation of building, Albridge Township Building Department is ongoing. The public is reminded that administrative staff is temporarily relocated to the Silver Lining Center with direct access from Municipal Complex Courtyard, door number 3. Residents and contractors should continue to drop off all permits using this location. Item number 4, Civic Center Amphitheater and stairwell replacement. Old Township contractor Zenith Construction Services Inc. began construction to replace the Civic Center Amphitheater, southern retaining wall and stairwell. Construction will take approximately 90 calendar days. 7 parking spaces near the library and the sidewalk at the rear of Civic Center building will be closed during construction. Please visit oldbridge.com/projects for more information. Item number 5, third quarter tax payment. The tax bill were mailed on July 28, 2021, and the third quarter grace period has been extended until August 23rd, 2021. This is important that people has time instead of August 10th to August 23rd. The Township Division of Tax Collection will be open Monday through Friday between hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. during the third quarter tax collection period. The tax office will also be open 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, August 14th, 2021, and between hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. So there are extended time on August 23rd. For additional information, residents should contact Division of Tax Collection at 732-721-5600, extension 2999. Item number 6, before and after school care. Currently, we have approximately 400 children registered for before and after school care program. We're still actively pursuing application for open positions such as paras, aides, and nurses. There are 153 students on the wait list, as we have not been able to fill the position needed. To apply, visit oldbridge.com and click employment opportunity. And a council member, I encourage all of you and anybody that can help and I'll pass the word that positions are available apply. As we hire new employees, we'll then take children off the wait list in the order they were put on. If you have any questions, please reach out to before and after school care department at afterschool@oldbridge.com. Call extension 2395 or visit website at oldbridge.com/daycare. Item number 7, Saltwater Day. This year's event will take place on Saturday, August 14th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event will have arts and crafts, vendors and new rides, carnival games, game trailers, entertainment, food, and it will be concluded with fireworks show. Shuttle will be available every 15 minutes from various locations. Please visit oldbridge.com/saltwaterday or our social media pages for more information. Item number 8, Oldbridge Culture Arts Committee is hosting Oldbridge Arts 2021 on Saturday, August 21st from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Menino Park. This will be a fun-filled day for the entire family with live performance from local bands, arts and crafts, art exhibits, theatrical skits, dancer, vendors, and food trucks. The Oldbridge Animal Shelter will be hosting a doggy costume contest at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Please visit oldbridge.com/culturearts or our social media pages for full schedule of the day, performance, and more. The rain date will be Sunday, August 22nd. Council President, that concludes my report. We hope to be back in the council chambers next meeting, but there's a likelihood because of the delay in delivery of material that we need, that we may still be on Zoom for one more meeting. We'll hope to have that concluded by then. And we'll keep you up to date and we'll update the public also. That concludes my report.
You're muted, Mary.
No, you were muted.
I'm sorry, I'm muted. Okay, anyone have a question or a comment for Mr. Shaw on the report? No? Okay, I'll take a motion then to accept his report.
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Murphy, second by Mr. Pescetti.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli is absent, or Dr. Greenberg
Yes,
Belli.
her volume is down.
My computer crashed, it's just spinning.
Okay,
My computer crashed.
I'm gonna say absent dates for Ms.
Yeah.
Her computer.
Merwin?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sohor.
Yes.
We have 8 ayes.
The announcement.
Yes, and I apologize, the agenda, we ordered it wrong. So the next is actually public comment, not council member comments. The council member comments do come after our public comment.
So now we will be opening up to the public for comment.
Okay. There are instructions on your screen for how to access our Zoom meeting. I will give you the instructions for how to call in. The call-in number is 929-205-6099. Our Zoom ID is 862-4764-0480, and our passcode is 978821. To raise your hand during public comment. For a comment, please press *9 from your phone, Option or Alt-Y from your phone or computer, or the raise hand option from your computer or phone app. Please note that the public comment portion of this meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items in the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10-412A and the Aldridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that public portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate time during this portion of our meetings. Written comments will be read at the conclusion of live comments. When I click on your name, please state your name and address for the record. So first I have Evelyn Junice. I've allowed you to talk. Can you please state your name and address for the record? Evelyn Junice, I've asked you to unmute. You do have to unmute yourself by either tapping the microphone on your phone or computer, or pressing *6 on your phone. Okay. I do have to move on. If you'd like to try again, please raise your hand and I will call on you again. Next, I have Elia Hemlin.
Hello?
Hi, can you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. Ilya Hemlin, 21 Carmel Court. I'd just like to say it's very disheartening to see members of this council begin their campaigning season by holding fundraisers outside of the township. I think it's important that we remember that small businesses need our help in this town more than ever. And as we begin the election season, these kind of events that are held outside of the town are troubling, not only because it reflects to our business community that our leaders are not supporting them, but it also reflects to the township as well that they're not welcome at these towns. If we're holding events outside of the town, outside of the county, it creates a more layer of secrecy, and it makes it seem that we don't want our community to be there, which is obviously not the case. I'm aware that obviously that many of people here are struggling with scheduling and making sure that accommodations can be met for these events. And I understand that that is difficult, but I would like to remind this council that our businesses really do need our support. So any kind of effort we can make to make sure that our election and fundraising events are held here would go a very long way. I think as we move forward, it would be a good show of support to see everyone here, commit to supporting our businesses in any way possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Evelyn Junice, I'm asking you to unmute. If you could, please state your name and address for the record.
Evelyn Junice, 2391 Route 9, Aldridge.
Please make your comments to council.
Yes. My husband and I, Dennis Junice, we run a seasonal Christmas stand selling wreaths and grave covers, and we've been doing this for the last 50 years, and an Easter cross stand for 32 years on our Route 9 property. We abide by permit rules requiring tax ID, fingerprinting, photo ID, insurance requirements, background check, and the parking requirements. We recently became aware that there are limited timeframes for which these type of sales are permitted, which is 48 hours prior to the holiday. Traditionally, we've opened the weekend before Thanksgiving for the Christmas season and for 2 weeks before Easter for the Easter season. We have at least 20 years of permits on hand that can corroborate this past practice. We've reached out by email to several council members numerous times with little response. Since we have been in business for such a long time, We have built up a large following. These people have expressed to us many times how they would never go anywhere else and to please don't ever stop what we're doing. We are asking the council to review the following ordinance codes 394-1 and 394-2. The areas of concern to us are, number one, the time frame for selling seasonal items. We all know that the Christmas season now begins right after Halloween. We need to begin selling right before Thanksgiving. That is when cemeteries begin allowing grave covers to be placed. And number two, that one sign be permitted for Easter as it is for Christmas time, so people know what is being sold. Now is when we are preparing to buy supplies and preparing decorations. We need an answer as to whether or not we will be permitted to be open for the entire season as we have in the past. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Council President, I do not have any other raised hands at this time.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to close the public portion.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. De Palma and then Mr. Rizzoli.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. De Palma,
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Belli,
Yes.
Mr. Merwin,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty,
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
President Sovor.
Yes.
We have 9 ayes to close the live public comment. And as stated, I did receive a written comment. I do now have to read that. So I received a comment from Krista. Oops, I apologize. From Krista Fisher. The comment reads, I am writing the council yet again in regards to Councilman Mark Rizzoli. In your political literature, you state that you care about public safety. If you care so much about the safety of the public, then why were you once again protesting with parents in East Brunswick to have children go to school maskless? First off, you are using that as a campaign tool because as a councilman, there is nothing you are able to do about a statewide mask mandate. It seems like the perfect campaign pitch. Make a ruckus, get attention, and not have to do anything. Secondly, there are students who have younger siblings at home who are too young to receive the vaccine, and the Delta variant is much more dangerous to children. It's pretty reckless to go against recommendations that could potentially save lives. Instead of rallying other towns, perhaps you should be focusing on things you can accomplish in Aldridge. We are still weeks without a sheriff. We have tons of vacant buildings that are just deteriorating with no use, among many more issues that need to be addressed. Also, for someone who is so angry about local businesses hurting during the pandemic, it could have been nice for you and Councilman De Palma to actually support a local business for your campaign dinner. Instead, you've shown your allegiance to the Trump name by holding it at the Trump Golf Club in Colts Neck, a town that isn't even in Middlesex County. Shouldn't you be giving your support to the people you want to vote for you? Lastly, at the July council meeting, you responded to a local resident saying, I arrest people you hide under the bed with. Care to elaborate on what that means? Thank you. And that concludes the submitted written comments.
Okay, so we will now close the public portion.
Yes. No, because we already closed the live. Yeah, I was just reading into records.
All right. Okay. Next will be council member comments.
So Ms. Brown, do you have any council comments?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes, just with summer coming to close, just wanted to wish everyone a happy end of summer and a happy Labor Day. Hopefully some of the children aren't getting too sad that school's coming back up, but be prepared, September's here. And also, since our next council meeting isn't until, I believe, the 14th or 15th, I just wanted to state, with the 20th anniversary of September 11th coming up, I know a lot of people in this community, myself included, were affected by it. Just keep a lookout for those folks that that may have lost someone close to them, friends, family, acquaintances alike. Just keep them in your thoughts, give them a call and make sure they're okay. It's as it's amazing that it's 20 years already, but let's just make sure that we keep those that were lost and those who lost folks, in your prayers and in your thoughts. And that's all.
Thank you. Dr. Greenberg Ballet?
First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a safe and happy end of the summer. Enjoy your family. And also, I want to remind everyone that we still live in a free country with free choices for where we want to go and what we want to do, and that we should all uphold that. And as far as 9/11, it is quite shocking that 20 years have passed, and it is a day that we should never forget as Americans, how we were attacked on our soil and all the lives lost. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes, I have two items. One for the attorney. The medical marijuana, or just regular, the ordinance that we passed prohibiting the marijuana. Have we turned that over to the planning board, or is that what is the process for us doing any zoning for medical marijuana or regular marijuana? Or you're muted, Mark, if you're saying anything. Either that or you're talking to yourself.
No, Gab, I think that should have been referred, after it was introduced.
It was introduced and then referred to the planning board, and then we received back our memo. And it was finally adopted, I believe, at the June
right.
meeting, the June 22nd meeting. So all of the applicable notices and sending off were completed.
That's all I wanted to know where that was. And the other, Hamachu touched on it already. This Saturday is Saltwater Day at the Albridge Waterfront Park in Lawrence Harbor. It's bigger and better than ever. We have a tethered hot air balloon ride. We have the typical music, the normal music, but at 3 o'clock for all the parents. We have a adolescent or a juvenile magician. So you want to have the kids at the band stage at 3 o'clock because he will start on time, and he gets paid for overtime if it goes over. So we don't want to be doing that. And we have the shuttles running. Like he said, the schedules will be posted, and they run like every 15 minutes. So there's no reason that anybody can't get there. Don't bring your cars into the festival area because there is no parking. Matter of fact, we've made the residential permit parking in half of that area. So there's definitely no parking in that area. So the best bet is go to Memorial School, go to the 120 area for the office buildings and the commuter lot there at 120 after 6 p.m. Go to St. Lawrence Church. This way we don't interfere with their mass. And we're going to have a great time down there. Don't believe these weather reports. It doesn't rain in Lawrence Harbor. All right. So we'll see you all there. Have a good time. Thanks.
Mr. Murphy?
Thank you. All I want to say is I wish everybody had a good summer. And I just can't believe how fast this year is moving. And I want to wish everybody a happy Labor Day because our next meeting will be after Labor Day. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. And Dr. Greenberg-Bailey, did I cut you off with your comments? Is that? Dr. Greenberg-Bailey, did I cut you off with your comment?
No, I just wanted to say about Saltwater Day that it's a collaborative effort between the town, the county, and then Lawrence Harbor First Aid. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The Recreation Department is deeply involved in planning and taking care of things. And the county has also a role in it. Obviously, we're using, there's a lot of county facility being used. And I believe the county stage is provided.
Yeah, I just think that everyone should know, like, that the town and the county and Lawrence Harbor, but also I know I asked last time the cost of the fireworks, who presents them, and I didn't, get an answer. I know the township takes care of the shuttles, the workers from the rec department and the police.
Well, also remember, fire department should include that. They're also participants
Right.
in that. But I believe fireworks is covered by the Lawrence Harbor First Aid.
Yeah, I asked Councilman Merwin for the figure, and he didn't want to mention it. He said we'd talk, but we never did.
And the same thing holds true. You want to know, contact me and I will definitely let you know, but that is not a public record. It's a proprietary thing. I may get the best price in New Jersey. So we surely don't want to put it out to the public and have the poor guy harassed. Why do you give it to Aldridge for that? So it's all right. That's
So
the
the gentleman's done it before then for us.
Listen, we've had 2 different firework companies. One of them we used for 16 years, and this one will be the second time we've used.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Piscatty?
Yeah, I do want to wish everyone a happy Labor Day. I had some inquiries from residents talking about the voter rolls in the county. And so I did some inquiries and found out that they don't actually purge the voter rolls. What they do is when they get a report that someone has passed away, then they remove them. If someone moves out of the county, they wait until they get a voter registration change form. So what has happened is the voter rolls have gotten a bunch of people on there that are just are not actual voters. So what I would like to do is ask the county if they would go ahead and purge their rolls, and just qualify them. And I didn't know if as a council we could maybe do a resolution or something like that to ask the county if they would go ahead and do that, because they don't on a regular basis do that. They only, like I said, they only take people off the voter rolls when they're notified. So I don't know if anybody has
Good
any-
idea. Everyone assumes they purge their, do the voter rolls, but they obviously don't after your inquiry.
Yeah, they don't. So, and I know, it's probably a lot of work, but I think it needs to be done, especially if they're doing all these vote by mail stuff.
I'm in favor with you.
Thank you.
We look into it. Mr. Roselli, could we look into that?
Sure, I can just draft something.
Okay. Is that good, Mr. Piscatty?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Are you more
Yeah,
comments?
I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Thank you, Gabby. It's really unfortunate that we have a Facebook page active in this town run by a member of the Albridge County Committee that seems to promote hate speech, slander, cyberbullying. The fact that members of this council have been repeatedly attacked for other towns they go into, I find remarkable. The last time I checked, we do live in a free society. I mean, we've run so many fundraising local businesses. Myself and the council president went around doing videos promoting businesses during the lockdown, and we were attacked by the same Democratic County Committee. And then the people attack myself or my family, and then they want to call in and they want to or send in letters why I defended myself and my family. Listen, my family comes before politics. And as a parent, I have the right to protest because a governor is mandating masks on my child and the other children. I'm responding to parents' requests. Okay. The word mandate is un-American. Okay. It's incumbent upon the governor to provide the data that shows the reason for this medical mandate, these mask mandates. Parents want the choice. If a parent wants to send his or her child to school with or without a mask, that should be their rights. I'm standing up for the children. At the end of the day, I think people in elected positions seem to have forgotten why, whether you're a member of the Board of Ed, a member of council, or in Trenton legislature. You were elected to represent the people and defend children if necessary. You weren't elected to represent a superintendent or the NJEA or any special interest group. If sometimes you have to go defend these people, and that's exactly what I did, and I'm not going to shy away from that fact. My body, my choice seems to only apply when it comes to abortions. Now they're trying to use this mask mandate to try to mandate vaccines. I mean, this is really getting out of control. And just go back to the audio video of any council meeting. I've been repeatedly attacked, called corrupt. I can go on and on and on. And no member of the Albridge Democratic County Committee, which has seemed to have turned into a hate speech organization, has able to produce any documentation. I mean, we have our township attorney was accused of being on the take. I mean, I can go on and on. Just review the video. Review the video and the evidence is there. All these allegations to try to win an election, it's really disgraceful. It really is. Go on social media. The fact that they're promoting that stuff is really unbelievable. And I have a lot of parents, and unfortunately, parents are afraid to speak out because they don't want to fall victim to what myself and other council colleagues have fallen to with the cyberbullying and the slander on Facebook. If you have a fundraiser where they don't like, now we're getting into where they want to tell people where they can and can't go. I mean, this is a free society. Freedom of speech is under assault here, right here locally. I think we've all done a lot of work. We do a lot of things behind the scenes. We just don't sit here and discuss, whether it's bringing vaccine testing to the town, helping our local leagues, helping our food bank. I can go on and on the list. So if people are troubled by the fact I'm defending children and parents' rights to choose, well, I feel really sorry for you. And, I was going tonight just going to say, everybody enjoy your summer. Unfortunately, I was once again attacked by someone who seems to put ideology before common sense. And I just want to remind everybody, the CDC is not a law-making branch of government. I suggest they start making recommendations that are common sense recommendations and try to work with everyone. Once again, everybody enjoy their summer. I look forward to, next meeting. Thank you.
Ms. Rizzoli. Ms. Walker?
Yes, I can't believe the summer's almost over. It flew by in the blink of an eye, and our next meeting will be after Labor Day. So I'm wishing everybody a happy Labor Day. And for those of you who have never attended our 9/11 ceremony, I encourage you to come. It's extremely moving, and I wish more residents would come. And I have to agree with Mr. Piscitty about cleaning the voter rolls. I think it's long overdue, and it's something we really need to focus on as soon as possible. That's it.
Thank you. And President Soper.
Yes, I just wanted to mention I had been at two really great events over the last couple of weekends. One was at the Elks in Albridge. It was the motorcycle run, the miracle run for children, for people with special needs. And I have to tell you, I was just amazed always how many people come out, how many people participate, and what a great cause it is. The generosity is just overwhelming. It was a really, really great event. And I'd like to thank Anna Feltz, our senior Silver Linings manager, for her Christmas in July at Friendly's. It was really, really nice. I mean, the kids were enjoying themselves. The characters were there. She really, a fantastic job. And it's for the food bank, which she does such an amazing job. So thank you, Anna. It was a great reason to have a little cheap ice cream and, a few extra calories, but we really had a good time. And thank you again. Wish everybody a great summer. Next, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg Bello?
Yes, and remember, this is a great town filled with many volunteers. Thank you.
Mr. Merwin?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
President Soper?
Yes.
Thank you very much.